Hello everyone, this is Manish, and in this video I'm going to discuss about how to track software update deployment using SCCM. The topics what I'm going to cover is that the log files involved for the software update. Second is the workflow. I'm going to show you a diagram in easy to understand manner. And finally I will be giving you a demo by deploying few updates on Windows 10 device, and we'll be looking into the logs that what exactly the precise information we should be looking into it. So this video, you can treat it like a standalone, means for the troubleshooting on the client, or you can also treat it like a part 2 of my second video. The first video I made it on the for the software update on the server side settings, where I explained about that how the settings, what are the configuration required on the server side and the log file involved. But this is more focused upon the client side troubleshooting and the logs. Let's begin. The crucial thing to understand is the log file involved for the software update. Let's begin with the list of log files. On the list, you can see these are the most important log files related to the SCCM software update deployment evaluation. And right hand side, you can see the other log files, which I will not be focusing too much. One is related to Windows Update Agent logs. That is the only log file which is not related to SCCM, which is related to Windows logs. So to capture the information related to Windows Update, but this is not I'm going to cover in this thing. My focus is more upon the SCCM logs. And rest of the log files, reboot coordinator, CCM exec are also the log files. I can tell you about the reboot coordinator. This is an optional log file. You can look into it for example, if you have to look for that how much the restart, what is the restart behavior, how much time duration has been given to the user to restart, maybe 3 hours, 4 hours. So those kind of information you can look into it. But majorly I will be focusing upon the most important log files which you see on the left hand side. So these are the most important log files I would heavily consider for the deployment of software update. Out of that, you can see that yellow bracket I have mentioned these 5 log files: scan agent, update store, updates deployment, WA handler, and updates store.log. These are specifically related to the software update deployment, means the most important thing related to update. Other log files for policy agents, CAS, content transfer manager, data transfer services, these log files are applicable for everything, not only just update, means for the application deployment, software update, any package deployment, or anything, whatever you want to deploy on device. I have created another video for the track SCCM application deployment. If you wanted to understand something easy, I would highly recommend to click on the link above, which can help you to understand the application deployment. I think that's the best approach. First, you need to understand how application deployment works. If you know about it, you know the log files, I think coming to this software update deployment will make more sense, because it is much more advanced, because we are going to do a deep dive. Let's start with the definition of the log files, what these log files do. The first log file is policy agent. It is going to download the policy. If you deploy any software update deployment, I can track that information into this log file. Second is scan agent. So this scan agent log file, as the name suggests, it is going to scan for the update using the WSUS server. So it needs to get the information from of WSUS. Location services is going to provide that information to scan agent, and it will be scanning against all the updates available on a SCCM and whether those updates are installed or missing. So that kind of scanning will be done, but the information in scan agent will be very limited, means able to find a WSUS server, scanning started, scanning completed. And this scan agent, once the scanning is completed, it is going to broadcast this information to so many other log files. But the important thing to understand is we need to see whether scanning got completed or not. Another log file is update store. So I told you in the previous log file that scanning happens, but where exactly the information is stored? So this is the right place, update store. Think about it, update store like a database. It is going to store the information of each and every update, hundreds or thousands of updates, whatever applicable updates are there for this device. It is going to show whether that update is missing or installed. And this information of this update store is actually, it is going to store the information to the WMI repository. While giving the demo, I will be showing you that what PowerShell commands. There are few handy PowerShell commands which I run on a day-to-day basis, which makes my life very easy to find the updates applicable. Another log file is updates deployment.log. Sorry to say another log file, I would say the most important log file. This is the master log file. Why it's the master log file? Because if someone asks me to troubleshoot the software update issues and you have to only look for the one log file, this is the log file which I am going to check. This log file contains the information of every kind of thing, whether the scan initiated, completed, the patches required, deployment evaluation, scanning once and downloading updates, and finally the installation gets completed. So that kind of information will be there in updates deployment.log. Yes, it's a master log file, very important log file, but if there are some issues, I would rely on other log files as well. So I would not say that this is the thing, this is the only log file which you should be looking into it. For more advanced issues and for the issues which are not visible in this update, in this log file, you need to look for other log files as well. WA handler.log. This log file logs the information related to the Windows Update agent. So it has a very basic information, very precise information. This goes hand in hand with the updates deployment.log. I would not say, I will not consider this log file as a very important log file, but if you are looking for the precise information, what updates were applicable, it got installed, succeeded, now reboot is required. Very basic information. Now I'm talking about updates handler.log. I believe that the names would be pretty much confusing for you. Update store, WA handler, updates handler. Names look pretty much very similar, but this is what you need to learn. Updates handler, I would say the second best log file I would be considering. Why I will consider this thing as the second best log file? Because it is going to store not only the information related to the scanning, which a lot of other logs are also storing, but the important thing is about it is going to create a tagging between your CI unique ID and content ID. What I mean to say is, in SCCM console you can see that every update patch is having a CI unique ID, which I'll be showing you shortly, but you never know that what exactly is the content ID. When you create a package can consist of 10, 100, thousands of updates, depending upon that how you are creating package, you are keep on adding it. But every CI unique ID means patch is tagged to one content ID, and that we are not aware of that. This updates handler is going to provide you that information with the help of update store. So once updates handler is having the information of this is the patch, this is the content, now that job will be given to the cache. What is cache? Let's see. Cache means content access. It has two jobs to do. Number one is find the DB. Second is download from the DB. So that for the first job, it is going to rely on location services. Location services is going to find the DB and locate the content. Location services it is the same log file which is going to find the WSUS location also, which helps scan agent as well. And second job is to download the content. For downloading the content, it creates the job for the content transfer manager. So content transfer manager is the component which is going to download the content. But eventually content transfer manager itself is not downloading the content. It relies on another log file, and that log file is data transfer services. This is the log file, I would say a component service which is responsible for downloading the content at the low level. Now let's start in looking into the flowchart. The first log file is policy agent. It is going to download the policy related to the software update deployment. Once it is downloaded, then you will be able to see some activity into updates deployment.log. You remember I call it a master log file because it contains every information for the scanning, initiating the scanning, evaluating it, downloading update and installing it. But how it works, it relies on so many other components. Okay, so first of all, updates deployment and WA handler, you will be seeing some kind of precise information in WA handler. So that kind of tracking can be done in WA handler also, but very minimal information, not too much. So now updates deployment.log, how it is going to work, it is going to create a scanning. So scanagent.log will be the log file where you will be able to find the scanning. But for scanning, a device means Windows Update Agent requires the location of the WSUS server, I mean to say software update point. So location services will provide that information to the scan agent, and the scanning will be initiated, and after a couple of minutes it will be completed. So what scan agent has done, it has stored the updates into, means information of the update into updates store.log. It's a database which has stored the information of all your updates, whether it's missing or installed, because that's the information which updates deployment will be using to deploy the updates. After updates store, updates handler will come into picture, because now we know that the updates, these are the applicable updates, there is a deployment, and we need to trigger it, we need to deploy it because the deadline has passed. So updates handler is going to find the information of the content, that this is a CI unique ID and this is the content information I will be showing in the logs. So that once that information is available, now updates handler is ready, that now the content can be downloaded. And now this is where CAS will come into picture. As I previously told you, CAS has two jobs. One will be to find the DP. Second is to download from DP. To find the DP, it relies on location services. It will be contacting the location services by creating a locate request. Once location services is going to provide the content location in which DP it is located based upon the content ID, it will be handing that job to the CAS. That was my work is done. This is the location of the content. So I did my job. Now CAS has second job to do, to download from DP. For that, it is going to create a CTM job, means content transfer manager job, and that will be passed to the content transfer services component, and it will be stored in this log file. Content transfer services is going to create another job, DTS, that is called DTS job. DTS means data transfer services, which is going to download the content from the patch will be downloaded from the DP. Once the patch is downloaded, it is going to hand over to the content transfer services, and then it will again hand it back to the CAS. Once every information is available, the CAS is going to hand over the information to the updates deployment.log. Beware, there will be more log files also where this information will be saved, but this is my version of easily explaining the things. So now updates deployment.log has all kind of information. This is the update. This is the required update. Scanning is done. I have downloaded update, and finally the installation will be triggered, and you will see the success, and you will be able to see that whether the update means reboot is required or not. Reboot coordinator is another log file which you can look into it, which will be helping you that how much time has been given to the device or user for restart to be initiated. Let's come to the demo now. I have logged on to the SCCM server, and let me go to the software update group. This is a software update group which I have created. There are two patches inside it which I have deployed to one device. So the important thing is, in software update group you can see there is a CI unique ID. So the information which I am interested is FF4F96. This is the thing which I'm interested for, because this is what I can track into the log file. Second thing is, I need to check that what are the applicable updates. If I double click on the software update group, I can see there are two patches, and the information which I am interested is this unique update ID. Though this information, this title is important with the article ID, but unique update ID is the most important thing in update store, and every log file you will be able to find this info. Now the problem I told you is that the unique update ID, and when the update is downloaded, that is something different. So if I show you my package, so my package is my package. This is the location of my package, which consists of so many patches. So none of them is matching with 98022.085FB. You can see over here, nothing is matching, right? So how come we are able to understand whether this package has, what is the location of the content, how to find that information if we are looking into the logs? It's pretty much very confusing. For application deployment, package deployment, it's a straightforward thing, but not for the software update. This is what I'm going to teach you. And finally, the last thing for the software update group is I have done a deployment. So what I would like to do is to note down the deployment ID. So if you click on the software update group and below pane, click on deployment. This is the deployment unique ID 46CE010E. So what I'm going to do is the information of software update group CI unique ID along with the unique ID of the two patches, and deployment unique ID. I am going to put it on the top right corner for you while we are looking into the log file. Let's look into the log file now. Okay, I have logged on to the Windows 10 device. If I launch Software Center, I can see 2 updates are available and it is going to install initiate anytime, any moment. You can see over here downloading and installing the software update. So it means it has already started installing the update. It will take some time. So meanwhile, we can look into the few log files. First log file I'm going to look into it is policy agent. Okay, based upon the time what I see, I will be trying to find the information about my CI unique ID. I told you that the software update group has a CI unique ID. This is what I am going to search for, which starts with FF4F. So if I search for it, yes, I can see the information auth list underscore FF4F967B. So I can see the information of my policy assignment, and finally it got enabled, downloaded, successful. So it means policy came on my device. So that's the important thing if I have to track. Second thing is I'm going to check about the updates deployment.log. Before moving to updates deployment, I've told you that update deployment is going to store all the information. So what exactly it is doing? It is storing that information. It is creating a job for the scan agent. So let me look into the scan agent log file first. If I look into the scan agent.log, so the scan has been initiated, right? So here I can see it is able to find the update which is applicable. So the update ID 08F5, and same way it is also going to show me another update 98022, but it is eventually going to scan for all the updates depending upon whether the previous TTL has expired or not, or else it will do a full force rescan. But here it did only scanning for the 2 updates because the previous scanning would have done previously completed successfully last time. So what exactly it has done? It has contacted the WC server by using the location services, got the information from there, and finally scanning got completed successfully. And where exactly it has stored the information? It is update store.log. If I open update store, this is the log file which is too much overwhelming because it is too much overwhelming. It contains information of all the logs along with the information of with the CI unique ID, and the applicable patches will be also showing with their content ID as well. So that information will be visible over here. Okay, so now another log file which I would be looking into it. Before jumping into it, let me show you that update store. What I can do is I can fetch the information of all the patches using a PowerShell command, which is going to be if I am running this PowerShell command. So you can see that I am trying to contact the WMA repository with the namespace software updates update store. If I run the command, it is going to show me all the updates, whether it is installed or missing. So that's why I was saying it that use this update store information like a database. Now another log file which I'm interested into is updates handler. There is too much happening within so many logs, so you might get confused that what exactly you are looking for, what information is here. That's why I always used to say make a note of unique IDs, CI unique ID along with the deployment ID. Those things will be important. So let's look into the updates handler. In updates handler, what I'm going to do is let me try to search for the update CI unique ID. Let's see. If I search for it, yes, I was able to find the information 98022D2E. So based upon this CI unique ID, I am able to find the content location. This D37DB1EC is my content ID. So how come I know I am able to understand that it's my content ID? Because you can see that it is trying to download this thing, that update ID, that content ID D37DB, it is trying to download to CCM temp, then it will be going to the CCM cache. So meanwhile, let's focus upon this content ID D37DB, because this information you will be able to see in cache also. So the real downloading, as I told you, it will be available in cache. In cache, I can see the information that the content D37DB is showing as it is trying to download, and it needs the information that where exactly it is located. So finally, I can see there is a distribution point for that, distribution point name, and along with the location. If I try to access this location, I will be able to find whether the content is available or not. So this will give me an indication whether the content is there or not. Let me show you for a second. I'm trying to access the DB content location. And here I can see the content is available on this specific location along with the size, that what exactly is the size of that patch. So same way for other patch also I can find this information as well. So how come cache was able to find the DB location? That is coming from the location services. I have opened the location services.log. Here I can see that I'm trying to find the location of the WC server. I'm trying to find the location of management point and also the location of the see, this is the location of the WC server, and also I'm trying to find the location of the content because that information came from the cache to find a content location for me. So this location is coming from location services and was handed over to the cache. As cache is able to find the information from the location services, content transfer manager is the log file, is a component which will be showing the download is happening. So you can see in the content transfer manager that it has contacted the DP and it is creating a DTS job. So cache created a content transfer manager job for CTM, but CTM itself created another job for the DTS to download the content, but it is containing the information of all the complete downloading process. So content transfer manager will be having some kind of information, updates deployment.log will be having, even data transfer services will be having. So there will be so many different locations where you will be able to see the downloading content formation. But the thing what you need to understand is that which log file will give you the correct kind of data. So you need to understand that thing, because for example updates.deployment.log is going to give you a picture of everything, but if you need to get the information at the granular level, you have to go to the content transfer manager or maybe data transfer services. And now I have opened data transfer services, and finally you will be able to see that the content is getting downloaded using this component. You can see it is contacting the DP, it is downloading the content, and finally the content got downloaded. Now I will be coming to the most important log file, that is the master log file, updates deployment.log. Why I came at the last stage? Because it contains every information. So I just wanted to cover every other log file before coming to this location, before coming to this log file. Because you might be thinking that once I am looking into this log file, then might not be, we will be looking into other log files. Yes, in some cases it is true, but lots of time when we have issues, this log file might not help you. Here in updates deployment.log, the key areas which you have to look into it, that there are two actionable updates. So how this information is coming? This is coming from the WA handler, update store. These are the applicable updates for you. So finally I can see the update information over here. See the 98022 and the second is 08F5F. So that information is available. Another important information is about the deployment ID. So you remember that I made a note of it, 46CE0. So this is the deployment ID for that software update group. And also deadline received for the assignment. So deadline has received, it means it is applicable and it will be initiating the patch installation. I can see the assignment has started for downloading the patch. This is the detail of each of the patch. You can see the patch name is mentioned 98022 along with the title. The complete title information is also there. Finally, it has entered into the downloading state. So this information again is coming from the cache content transfer manager. So downloading 0%. It will be changing the status to 15, 20%. So you will be able to see the results 23%, 40%, 67%. That's why I call it a master log file. Now installation has initiated. Now it is showing as wait install. After wait install, the the status has changed now to actionable updates. It has added to the target list of deployment. Finally, the evaluation and the tasks are getting completed. And now I can see the CI state showing as installing percentage 0. Now percentage completed 5, and here I need to wait for next couple of minutes for the installation to get completed. I can see 16%, 22%. So I can easily monitor through one log file all the installation status. You can see 75% installation is completed. Meanwhile, I can show you another PowerShell command related to the deployment schedule. So CCM underscore software update class is going to you can look into it, that CCM underscore software update class is showing the information related to the two patches, the start date and the deadline, which is showing is empty. Once the installation is completed, we will be able to see the dates mentioned over here. Let's wait for the installation to get completed. I can see the first patch has the installation is completed. Now the second patch installation has started, which is on 43%. Let me look into the PowerShell command. Yes, I can see the first one showing as a deadline as 9:40 p.m. So it means the installation is done. It is just waiting for the deadline time to reach for restarting the device. 89% installation is done. And finally, I can see the restart required. The computer will restart in 5 hours 59 minutes and the installation is completed. Let me have a look. Yes, everything looks fine. No installation in pipeline. Notify reboot. Notify UI is equal to true. Let me look into the WA handler.log. I told you it's a very precise, short and precise log file related to capturing the Windows Update agent related information. Yes, I can see there are two updates, 085, 9802. The titles are also available over here, and once the installation is done, it is showing as the finished installing and reboot required. Yes, and I can see the status. So if I check my PowerShell command for both the updates, you can see the restart deadline showing specific time date. And finally, I can see it is giving me a pop-up for and which I cannot close it. Your computer is about to restart in 5 hours 58 minutes, and this setting is coming from just because of the software update client agent setting, where I have specified 6 hours of time, 360 minutes of pop-up for the user, where they can see this thing and they have enough amount of time to restart their PC. I hope this video was informative. You can like it or subscribe it if you are looking for more videos like this. Thank you.